Hello everyone, Tina here. I'm back. Happy December 5th. Thank you so much for joining me. Today we're going to open up our present with the Crafty Advent Calendar from Spellbinders. I am loving everything. Oh my gosh, I think it's super fun, and I hope you're having as much fun as I am. We're going to open up our calendar and we're going to look at day 5. I even like finding day 5. It's just super fun. Day 5 is up here. Let me find that little there's a little notch here. It's easier for me to just push it in and then pull it out. Let's open up day 5. Oh, how stinking cute. Okay. Oh my goodness. Let's go day 5. Oh, you know what? Day 5 goes all the way down. I thought it stopped here at the ribbon, but it goes all the way down. Okay. We get an embossing folder today. Oh goodness. Okay, here's our embossing folder. And it looks like a border one. So we can create a border on an A2 size card. So let's, go ahead and create a project using our embossing folder. It has stripes on here. I just think this is so neat. I trimmed down a piece of GLACIER cardstock. It's a real pale blue, and I didn't measure it, but it's about maybe 1.5 inches. I'm going to put this in my embossing folder, and I'm going to run this through my die cut machine, and we're going to create some diagonal stripes. We'll be right back. This is what it looks like. I love stripes. I was excited about this. So while we're doing embossing, I'm going to bring in another embossing folder. This is the Spellbinders 3D origami embossing folder. But of course, I'm going to trim this actually down to a thinner strip than this. So any kind of embossing folder that you have would work. I'm just going to run this through my die cut machine, and I will be right back. Now after I ran this through, I trimmed it down, but I'm going to trim it down a little bit more. It's kind of hard to tell on camera, but there are like 1-inch sections on here, and I'm going to trim this out. But I do want to do a little ink blending. I don't want a heavy ink blend, so I'm just going to use my blending brushes and the ink that's left over on them. I want a yellow and a blue, and maybe a little bit of orange. I'm going to add a little bit of, let's trim this. That way if I want to do another project, I don't have to use the same colors. Let me grab my paper trimmer. And I'm going to, like I mentioned, trim one of these panels here. That way I could save this for another project. Now I am going to eventually trim this down, but I don't want to get my fingers inky, so I left a little bit of a, we're going to leave a little area on the top and bottom. Let me show you what I mean. Okay, we're going to take, we'll take first our blue. I have this like a teal, probably Mermaid Lagoon on here. And I'm just going to do a little ink blending. Just add a slight bit of color. And then I'm going to add my yellow. This is probably squeezed lemonade, or even maybe mustard seed. Just add a little bit. And I'll probably add a little bit of my orange too. I'm going to add. Wonderful. I didn't go to the ends or on top or bottom because we're going to trim this. And I mentioned it'll end up being about a 1-inch strip. I'm going to go ahead and grab one of my small card bases that we've been creating with. And we'll take this and directly adhere this to the bottom of our card base. So let's tack this down. I'm just kind of centering it. And I think that's nice and centered. I'm going to flip this around, and then using my scissors, we're going to trim away the excess, whatever's overhanging. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and add some little birds. Let's zoom out a little bit. Now I'm using the sweet birds on a branch. I haven't used this in a long time, but I love the little birds that it creates. So if you have any bird dies in your stash, break them out, and I think they would look really cute on this card today. And I used this one here, and this Sweet Birds on the Branch. I'll list it down below if you guys want to check it out. But again, even a 3D bird sticker would work for today's project. But I created these two. There's the same bird. And what we're going to do is we're going to put one here and then one here, but I do want to stamp my sentiment. For my sentiment, I'm bringing back the sealed sentiment stamp set. And I'm going to stamp Just Because up here with my black ink. Let me grab a acrylic block here. And I'm just going to stamp this right above that embossed border. And I'm also, since we have that bold black, I thought we would bring in some black and white baker's twine. And I'm just going to thread it on the inside of my little note card. And then we're going to tie a bow in this white area. Actually, let's go all the way to the top. For this card, I want to keep the tails of this a little bit on the longer side. Kind of like that look. Now we're going to take our little birds. I'm going to put some adhesive on the reverse side. I'm not going to add, there's already a little bit of dimension to them, so I'm not going to add any extra dimension. And I'm going to put one over here next to the sentiment. And I'll put the other one over here, like so. And I think I want to lighten up this color a little bit. So I'm going to bring back this panel and let's trim it down. Yeah, I think I put too much. I'm going to redo it. I think I have to put too much ink on this. It's taking away from this real pretty striped. So I'm just going to remove my little birdies, and then I'll take this off. And we're just going to do a redo here. And you see how that lighter color just makes a big difference? I think the lighter color just looks a lot different. It's funny how just a couple inks can change up a card. Let's trim away this excess here carefully. I do not want to trim away my twine. Okay. Oh, I like this much better. And then I'll take my little blue, my bluebird, and then my yellow. Last but not least, I'm going to lightly tack this down. Now I do this because it just helps me when I adhere stuff, but also when I take pictures, it's easier to tack it down. But I'm going to use some Spellbinders Color Essential Gems. These are well loved, you can see here. These are the ORIGAMI. And I'm going to add just a little bit of sparkle. Maybe with the smaller ones. Okay. I think that's just what it needed. And then that will finish off card number 5. Cute little note card. Just because note card would be great with cookies. I always say that, but I like to bake. But I'm going to go ahead and remove the adhesive now. But thanks for joining me. We'll see you tomorrow for another project. Have a wonderful day.